Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Fofucha Dolls, and thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to create this pretty cake for your Fofucha doll. Excuse my shaky hand, I just wanted to show you the cake and the doll before I start the step-by-step tutorial. But this cake is very easy to make and it'll be a great embellishment for your doll. So let's get started. I'm going to put the camera down, so just bear with me. Okay, bring this down, and let me move this back just so I can have more room. Push this back, and we're going to need the following items. You're going to need your templates. I'm using the 2.5 and the 2-inch template. Let me move the camera up a little bit. That's better. So you're going to use the 2.5 and the 2-inch template, some foam sheets, and I'm going to show you how to use household common items to help you give shape to your foam with your template. I'm going to use a tea light holder, and this is actually household cleaner cap, and an acrylic paint bottle. And if you noticed, what I'm going to do is, you have to make sure whatever cap you use, whatever you have at home that you can randomly find, has to be the same diameter as the template. So this is 2.5, the cap is 2.5. The cap is a little smaller, but that's perfectly fine because you need the clearance for the foam to go through. And then here is the tea light. It goes through perfectly. Alright, so let's get started. What we're going to do is, you're going to warm up your foam sheets. Don't forget, you're going to need an iron and your glue gun. Oh, and I'm also going to ask you to bring out your glitter foam sheet. And some embellishments. I'm going to use some little circles. You could use little hearts, little flowers, whatever you feel you want to decorate the cake with. That's perfectly fine. Alright. So make sure your iron is ready, and I'm going to warm up my foam sheet. I'm going to do the large part of the bottom tier of the cake first, and I'm going to start that with the color lime green. So I'm going to get this ready. So once my foam is hot, I'm ready to put it through. Alright, so I'm going to warm up my sheet. By now I hope you know how to use your iron and the foam sheet and a piece of fabric, and you know that once the foam sheet starts to curl up, it's ready to be shaped. So right now what I'm doing, I'm not gonna move the camera to the iron because I don't like the shakiness in the camera, but right now what I'm doing is I'm heating up my foam sheet and I'm getting ready to run it through. It's very easy and quick. So right now it's nice and hot. And I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to quickly use my template and put it through. And that gives me the shape that I want for my cake. This is the bottom tier of the cake. You're going to go from large to medium to small. That way the cake will actually look like a cake, like a 3-tier cake. So this is perfect. Okay, I'm going to remove my template. You see how it has acquired the shape? Perfect little shape. And what I'm going to show you is how to cut it. And you're going to cut it just in the bottom edge. It doesn't have to be perfect. But just in the bottom edge, just cut around and around. Okay, so this is done. Now I'm going to show you how to do the second tier and then the last tier. And then I'm going to show you how to easily build it. Alright, so now we're done with this one. Now I'm going to go with my tea light. Let's push this back. My 2.5 inch. I'm sorry, my 2-inch. I'm already done with my 2.5 inch. So I'm gonna warm up my foam sheet. And here we go. Sometimes it's easier to warm up the foam sheet with the actual template. I do recommend that. So that's what I'll do this time so you get an idea of what I'm doing. So I'm warming it up. And it's not ready yet, it's not curling. And here we go. It's starting to curl, perfect. All right, so I'm going to run it through. And perfect. You see how I'm getting that wonderful shape? If you don't have the template, which is fine, I just like to use templates. They're a lot easier on my hands, and I don't get so frustrated. And what you can do is you can actually just use your hands. You will need to go like this with your hands, and you'll have to work quickly. Because once this cools down, that's it. Your time is up. So you would just need to press it down with your hands. But you could still use your household items to give it the shape you need. One quick informational I want to mention is when you see templates and tools, try to maximize everything you possibly can to use those tools and find multiple purposes for it. So get the most you can out of your money. Like, for example, these tools that I sell, these are for the dolls. These are for the doll heads. But I said, no, there has to be other ways for me to use these tools. And I will continue to brainstorm and get creative and give you additional ideas as well. So when you buy these templates, it's not for just use for the doll. We have to find other uses as well. Okay? All right, so let's cut this one. The same way we cut the green one, we're gonna cut the pink one. Around the edges, around the edges, around the edges. Perfect. There we go. You see how it's starting to look like a cake? And that's exactly what we're gonna do. The last trick I wanna show you is this one. I don't have a template for this one, and the reason why I don't is because I haven't seen a need for it. It's so small that your hands can easily maneuver around this. So you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm gonna get a little sheet, warm it up. Give me a couple seconds and I will show you. That's the nice part when you work with smaller stuff. It's so much easier to shape. When you work with bigger stuff, it's a little more, it's not hard. It just takes a little more practice and patience. But anything's possible. So hang tight and just keep working at it. You'll be making beautiful stuff before you know it. Okay, see how I am starting to just give it shape? If your foam rips, it's because you did not give it enough heat. You have to give it enough heat in order for it to take shape. And perfect. You see how I got my shape? I have my little shape that I need. I could have probably pressed more there, but that's fine. If you need to do it more than one time, just bear with yourself. Don't get frustrated. Practice makes perfect. Trust me, I've messed up plenty of times, and that's how I have learned and enjoyed the craft more and more, because it's a challenge. And sometimes challenges are big opportunities. And see, now we have 3 tiers. Okay, what I did was I hot glue, and I'm just gonna hot glue one part so you could see it, because I already have a cake already built. I just hot glue the edges with my glue gun. Don't worry about the excess, because you're gonna cover it with the glitter foam. So please don't stress it. If anybody out there has an alternative to hot glue, please email me and let me know. I know there are countries in South America and in Brazil, they're using a glue that it's instant bond. I have not been able to get my hands on. Here, it's a little harder to import that type of material into the country. So, but you can email me at fofuchadolls@gmail.com. All right, so I'm going to glue the top. You see how quickly I'm just gluing it? There really is no science to it. Like I said, don't worry about the excess. You can wipe it off if you can. Sometimes I use a little scrap of foam. That's my tip here for you, and I just wipe it off so I won't burn my hands. Okay, so here we go. So this is starting to look like a cake, and here you have it. What I did on the bottom, I'm gonna quickly show you how to do the bottom, is I grabbed, let's see if I can have a piece here. I grabbed a piece, a square, I glued it, and then I had I do recommend you use these shape scissors, the ones that have the actual shape, like a fringe or a scallop. These are great. So what I did was I glued it as a square, not as a circle. And what I did after that, I cut it around. I shaped it to the size of the cake, and I got this. You see? Okay, so we're gonna cut the strips of the glitter foam long enough to go around your cake, and you're gonna place it on each tier, and that's gonna cover your excess glue and any imperfections you might want to cover up. This is a perfect time to cover it up. So I'm going to glue the edge and finish it off. I already just started it just so I can speed up on the actual tutorial for you. I'm going to try to do my tutorials as quick as possible. Quick with substance, that's what I want. That's my goal. All right, so here we go. What I did was I grabbed little pieces of circles because I'm gonna do a polka dot cake. But like I said, you could use whatever you want. You could use hearts or stars like I did originally in the first cake. Flowers. Flowers will work as well. You could even use paper flowers if you want. You don't have to use foam. I like to use foam personally for everything because I think it makes it more interesting. When people look at it, they're like, that's all made out of foam. Yes, it's all made out of foam. I try not to use I don't like to mix too much paper or fabric. I do from time to time, but I try not to because to me, it makes it more of a challenge when you just make everything out of 100% foam. All right, so you get the idea on how to embellish the cake. And I'm going to show you really quick how to do the candle. I'm going to do a pink candle. You know, this is a scrap. I do recommend you don't throw away your scraps. Try to maximize them and use them as much as you can, simply because they're money. You don't want to throw away your money. I know, I don't. So the candle, just cut a strip, warm it up as much as you can. I'm going to try to put the camera on there because I'm going to show you how to make sure this candle curls up. Here's my iron. Hope it didn't shut down. Sometimes my iron shuts down automatically when it's not in use. So curl it up as much as you can. I would say stay on this one even extra time. Perfect. You see how it's curling up? I'm just gonna curl That way I could get the shape of a candle. Okay. Let's move the camera back. And excuse the movement. Sorry. I don't like to move the camera too much. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut the candle. Sorry, I had to move the camera up again. All right. And you're going to get a little candle like this. And you're going to place it on top of your cake. I'm going to cut it a little more. Glue it. And there you have it. All right, so to cut the flame, I'm going to use a little piece of yellow and just cut a little tiny flame. You can paint it with acrylic or with chalk, just small enough, and you're going to glue it on top of your cake. And there you have it. Your cake is done. A nice little quick and easy project for your doll. So you could embellish your doll. You could do a birthday fofucha and so much more. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm so glad to hear from you. A few ladies are emailing me and I love it. I love to talk about fofucha. So email me, visit my website, fofuchadolls.com, visit my Etsy shop. My goal is to make it your one-stop fofucha marketplace where you get tools and ideas and everything in between. All right, love you lots and subscribe to my channel. Take care and see you next time.